And this looks interesting. I'm liking these why I am not a liberal anymore videos from these people that were clearly never liberal, but I have to admit it's a pretty solid form of propaganda. I feel like I could make a really compelling like why I left the right. You know what I mean? Even though I've never been a right-winger. Let's see, this guy's wearing a beanie, so, you know, maybe he was a liberal, I don't know. I don't know what liberals look like.
So yesterday I made a video.
The walk away campaign.
Explaining why a lot of people in Canada.
Of course, it's fucking Canada. All right, let's see if he references American politics at all. He shouldn't, really. He's Canadian, but let's see.
So yesterday I made a video explaining why a lot of people in Canada specifically, but in the US as well, are going from voting left politically to voting right politically. And I want to talk about my story a little bit. So in 2015 and 2019, I unfortunately voted for Justin Trudeau. And then COVID happened, and he tried to force something onto people, which I was not going to take because I'm a very health conscious person and I care very deeply about what I put into my body. And so there was no way I was going to take that thing that he was trying to force onto people. And that was step one for me. Now, I was ridiculed and shamed and mocked by people who did want to take that thing. And I was ridiculed and shamed and mocked just because that I decided that it wasn't for me. And I have zero regrets over that. It was one of the best things I've ever done. But that was step.
Yeah, the thing about vaccines is like, if you don't get the vaccine, you're technically making it more dangerous for other people. So it's not exactly like being attacked for a personal choice that doesn't have any effect on someone else. Like, for example, your sexual preferences, you know, who you choose to love, your gender identity, stuff like that. Personal choices that really are personal in the sense that they don't affect other people. But the vaccine, it's not quite that, man. I mean, dude, I respect his right not to take it. Like, I don't think, you know, mandating something like that, like just a blanket mandate is kind of scary, and I don't really want to see that happen. But it did not happen. So, you know, he made a personal choice that is gonna get some blowback, man. That's how choices go in life. I don't really know why he's acting like that's some crazy thing. It makes sense why you would be criticized for not taking the vaccine. But let's see how this once bleeding heart liberal finally saw the light and went to the right.
Too, when I realized that friends of mine and people that were on the left and that were involved in progressive politics started to shame me for a health decision that I made, especially because these people are all about my body, my choice. So it was very...
My body, my choice, I think refers to getting an abortion. It's not really comparable. So yeah, just like citing a slogan that has to do with something else and trying to transpose it onto this is pretty silly.
Weird to me that they didn't allow me to have a choice for my body when it came to that thing that...
But they did, right? No, they didn't try to get you arrested, did they? You can't get arrested for that, can you? You can't even get in trouble for it. Unlike, say, getting an abortion when the abortion laws are changed all over the country. So yeah, you were never legally obligated to take the vaccine. You did not take the vaccine. And some of your friends thought that was a stupid idea.
So it was very weird to me that they didn't allow me to have a choice for my body when it came to that thing that was forced upon many people. So those were steps 1 and 2. And then what happened was I realized from basically 21 to 22 that progressive politics is like a drug. The more you take, the more you need, and there is no end. So the people that subscribe to progressive politics are continuously needing more. They'll never be satisfied with the progress that society makes because they need to be victims. They need to live a life that is victimhood.
That's so weird, dude, because what you're describing sounds exactly like the millions and millions of people that watch millions and millions of hours of, say, Fox News, for example. Fox News, which is constantly telling them that America's coming to an end, and, you know, it's these people's fault, it's these people's fault, it's, you know, it's all about getting you angry, making you feel like you're threatened, your way of life is threatened. I mean, that's the MO. So I feel like that's more like an addictive drug where you feel like the victim all the time.
Their entire personalities. They don't know how to wake up and not be a victim. They enjoy being a victim. They enjoy coming on the internet and crying about being a victim because it's what gets them through their days.
What the hell, man? How does having leftist political views mean that you think you're a victim all the time? It seems like a lot of leftists right now are protesting against other people, you know, being attacked. So they're kind of trying to protect victims. So far, not so good, but
instead of looking inward and saying, what can I do to better myself? What can I do to make more money? What can I do to have a better life? What can I do to make my life the way that I want it to be? These people point and blame everybody else for all their problems. Now, the reason why they do that is because it's easy and it's lazy. It's really easy and lazy to blame everyone else, and then you don't have to do any work. Because
it's really easy and lazy to give blind, unconditional support to Trump and his regime and just basically believe that everything they do is good no matter what. That's pretty lazy. You're just saying, this is my team in the culture war, so I just support Trump no matter what. I love Trump. That's lazy and easy. It's a lot harder to examine things and be willing to criticize the powers that be. That's not actually lazy, that's the hard thing to do. I mean, this is typical. Like, everything you hear in a video like this is going to be so unbelievably hypocritical that it just makes your head explode. I think a lot of the right's talking points are just leftist critiques of the right, and they just try to use the Uno reverse card and just switch it back on them.
Because their thought process is, when those people stop treating me poorly, or when those people stop being mean to me, or those people whatever, then my life will get better. But that's not how life works. Life works by working hard, looking inward, and changing. I grew up in foster care. I didn't have a great life growing up as a child. I could have blamed a lot of different people. I could have gone down a lot of dark roads, but I didn't. I woke up every day and said, how can I make my life better? How can I make my life successful? What can I do to make more money? And that's what I've done. I have an incredibly successful life. I have an amazing, beautiful wife. We're about to have a baby in January. I own 2 businesses. I have a lot of really awesome things going on for myself in my life because I decided.
Okay, so basically this guy decided that all that matters in life is his own well-being. And that's fine. That's how a lot of people operate. So basically, he just focused on making money and, you know, getting a hot wife, and now he has those things, and so he feels good. And if he can do well in life, then everybody that's complaining, you know, those people are just losers to him. People that haven't made it like he has. Good job, you know. Sounds like you have your life together. You know, you managed to be financially successful. I mean, that's all great, man, but, you know, to just basically ignore or even resent people with problems because you don't have those problems, I mean, you're just you're a selfish prick.
To look inward and take responsibility for my own life instead of being a victim. And you know what? I had every reason to probably be a victim, and many people in my situation would have been a victim, but I decided not to do that. And the problem with people that subscribe to progressive politics is being a victim is their entire personality. They need that. They're always going to want more. It's never going to be enough. We'll never progress enough with progressive politics.
How does having progressive politics mean that you consider yourself a victim all the time? A lot of progressive politics has to do with bettering life for everyone, making sure that groups aren't excluded from the pursuit of happiness. I think a lot of people with progressive politics or beliefs are successful themselves. They do have the things that you have, but they also care about other people. They also care about the less fortunate. Great, you went through foster care and you seem to have turned out really well adjusted and stuff, but the people, the other kids that didn't, the other kids that struggle with life, like what do you think should happen to them? Should they not get help? Does everyone have to be like you?
Want more. It's never going to be enough. We'll never progress enough with progressive politics. And that's what you're seeing in today's world. We're seeing these people on the...
Progression will never be enough, so we should just stop all progression now. No more progress, because Progress means there could be more progress, you know? Progress begetting more progress. This horrible, slippery slope of progress. Progress! No! Don't change things to help people less fortunate than me that won't negatively affect me at all, and I'll be able to continue not taking a vaccine, having my family, having my businesses, having my money. But no, that'll upset me.
Continuously pushing the boundaries, and that's making people like me gay stand up and say, hey. With progressive politics. And that's what you're seeing in today's world. We're seeing these people on the left continuously pushing the boundaries, and that's making people like me gay.
They're turning the chuds gay!
And that's making people like me gay stand up and say, hey, this isn't what we want. We don't want to live in a world of delusion. We don't want to live in a world of make-believe. We want to live in a world of reality. We don't want to be called racists and bigots because we don't vote exactly how you tell us we should vote. We don't think exactly how you tell us we should think. And that started with the thing that was forced on us in 2020 when everyone told me that I needed to do that because they told me I needed to do that. That's not being a human. Being a human is critically thinking and being yourself and looking inward and improving yourself based on what you're doing, not blaming other people and hoping that your life gets better that way.
Yeah, being a human is having zero regard for the fact that you live in a society, and that if you choose not to take a vaccine, you're putting other people in danger. That's what being a human is not giving a fuck about that.
That's why I went from left to right, because I'm sick and tired of people creating a delusional world and telling me what I should think, and that if I don't think exactly the way they think, even though I've lived a completely different life than them and have different experiences than them, if I don't think exactly the way that they think, that I am a terrible person. That's the definition of a cult. A cult tries to recruit people in, create power with numbers, and push an agenda and an ideology onto people.
Wow. That sounds exactly like MAGA.
They've done a good job of that, but you know what? The problem...
Once again, this is their card. It's the Uno reverse card. The leftists are in a cult, really? Like this grift is very lucrative. Especially the whole, I went from left to right, which is always a bullshit story. His arguments are completely horseshit, and I find his story to be highly suspicious. Not that it can't happen, just that really what's more likely is your parents voted Democrat, you never cared about politics, and then one day you fell down the red pill rabbit hole, started watching videos of like cringe compilations of ladies with dyed hair screaming. Now you're, a right-wing guy. You didn't actually believe in anything.
It's going to come crashing down really hard, really soon. And a lot of people are waking up. So it's...
Yeah, people have been waking up, and things have been about to fall apart, and people have been waking up for my entire life. So I'm sure that means something.
An agenda and an ideology onto people, and they've done a good job of that. But you know what? The problem is it's going to come crashing down really hard, really soon, and a lot of people are waking up. So it's time to stop being a victims, stop being living this I want progressive, because you don't, because you'll never be satisfied. Just like a drug, you will never be satisfied. You're always going to need more. You're always going to push the boundaries, and eventually it's going to come crashing down. And we're going to see that when Trump wins and Poilievre wins in Canada.
Oh my gosh, man. That guy was such a freaking moron. To be a leftist, you have to be okay with lying, hypocrisy, and hate. Because there's no lying, hypocrisy, or hate on the right. Are you fucking serious? How stupid can you be? This is what bothers me, is like, all of these people that criticize the left, they're always right-wingers. It's like you're not using the same level of scrutiny for each side. You're choosing a side and saying that's good, and you're choosing the other side to be evil, and you're oversimplifying everything in your brain, and you're just willingly being a fucking moron.